Well, hello again. Started building a train from using a rivarossi Berkshire that was kind of junk. It used to be a 284. This is the chassis. This is a rear truck. I'll take it off the track in a minute and I'll show you what I did. And that's the front truck. It's going to be a 686. The front truck, I didn't pop the center wheels in there yet. You can see a wire coming off that. That's for electrical connection. These trains really need it if you're running over switches. So the rear wheels right now are plastic. That's not really a concern. It still has the original motor in it. I am going to cut this frame, grind it down, and put I'll put one of these in it. This is a 5-pole motor, skew wound. If I can fit it in the shell, I will use it. If not, I will use a 3-pole skew wound, which will give it a little bit more speed. It'll give it a little bit more speed. The low end speed might not be as well. That's another 5-pole skew wound motor right there. I might use that, depending on what I can fit in the shell. So anyway, I got a piece of lead taped in there just for some weight. This drive shaft, this piece here is not the correct one for this train. It's geared differently. It was out of a 2882 Mallet. The transmission was no good on it, so it's just Mickey Moused in there. I extended a drive shaft for now, just to make it work, but the motor is going to be here, so the drive shaft doesn't be very long. These things are noted for falling apart. It's been glued together. There's pieces of cardboard on there glued to hold it together. It's in really, really bad shape. It's just for testing purposes. I did order a couple more that are on the way, but it does run. As you can see, it has no front cylinders on it because this is a turbine locomotive. It's going to be 686, so there's not going to be there's no pistons on the cylinders on the front. So anyway, we'll just take it for a lap. This is the second time I've ran it. It runs all right. The motor is junk. It drains 3/4 of an amp, so I know it's no good. The drivetrain does not have any snags at all. It's very free running. But the motor is garbage. But it does run, and it actually, even with the junk motor, it'll run pretty much it'll run at a slow speed as well. It'll run pretty slow. I mean, it just drains way too much. The motor just drains way too much current. It should be about 1/4 of an amp. Right now it's at 1/4 of an amp and it's not even moving. So it's really, that motor is really, really garbage. I mean, that's like full throttle. But it does run. You run a few laps on it, the motor gets kind of hot. Let me show you what I did here. Hold on for a minute. Alright, so this spins very, very freely. See how easily that spins? So it's not the drivetrain binding up. It's just the motor's garbage. I could throw another rivarossi motor in there, but I'm not gonna. So this transmission was garbage. I don't know what the hell somebody did to it, but it destroyed the plastic. So right for now, there's a piece of cardboard underneath the bearing, spacing it up, because when you tighten this down, it really bogs the drivetrain because the plastic or something is distorted. So for now, it's just Mickey Moused, but it is very free running. Doesn't bog at all. I'll show you what I did here for now. This is my front truck. This was off of a Bachmann that had plastic wheels. So these are rivarossi or AHM. I don't know what these wheels are, but they have, see the plastic, clear plastic that separates the axle from the rim itself. For now, this silver wire is wrapped around it to act as a connection. And what's connecting it is a piece of Lexan. You can see it. I bent it in a shape, and it has some spring to it, so it holds down on the track. As long as you don't overbend it, you crease it in 2 areas, and then you tweak it back, and it actually acts like a plastic spring. So what I did with the front of the Berkshire chassis, I ripped the cylinders off, and I chopped this. And there's a screw there that holds this. I spaced that up. As you can see, the plastic is underneath. And there's a piece of plastic glued underneath the frame, between the frame and the aluminum. And that stops it from being able to be too tight, so it still has play. Now the back here, I basically did the same, using a piece of plastic. See that? And what I did is, I'll twist it sideways so we can see it here. I don't know if you can see it. There is a bolt going in the center of that goes into this. All I did was I put some CA on it and put the screw in and let it dry, and that holds this in place. And then of course there's another screw holding this, and as you can see, it's bent like almost like a zigzag, and it creates tension. So that plastic piece of Lexan acts like a spring. I'll stick it on the track here real quick so you can see it. Alright, so see how so it's almost like a plastic spring, and the same with the back. Keeps enough tension on it so the rear truck doesn't derail. So I think what I'm going to use for a shell is part of a Berkshire shell and part of I believe a 464 shell, like this shell. And I'm going to chop them and section them and put them together. The bottom section, I don't know what I'm going to use yet. I might use a 4664 bottom shell from a Challenger that I have on the way. I may even use part of the top of that shell, but I may not. I don't know what I'm just working on the drivetrain first. The train it runs really well for having this old 40-year-old motor in there that's absolutely junk. So anyway, so that's gonna be it. So it'll be a 686 turbine. It was made by the Pennsylvania Railroad, had it made. They only made one of them. I don't know why. It has the same drive size, which in real life would be 68-inch drivers, which is the same size as a big boy or a Berkshire. So I used the Berkshire parts that I had to build this. And thanks for watching, and I'll update you as I build it. This was the first day of building it. And, gotta iron out some kinks, but the drivetrain itself, other than the motor, operates very well, even with this crappy transmission in there. I might even leave it in there. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching.